Hello everyone, hello, we're back. We just finished talking, revealing that Vritra is the Satrap. The forum from Sharlayan showed up to tell everyone they need to run, and we're gonna move on. As far as we've come, and after all the horrors we've seen, there's still so much we do not know about the final days. Could it be, as Nidana said, that the cause of this phenomenon is beyond our comprehension? And so, if so, are we powerless to forestall it? Yes. Hey there. At World's End. Greetings, honored scions of the Seventh Dawn. I have a message from His Excellency the Satrap. Brave scions, you have my gratitude for aiding my people in this most trying of times. Alas, matters here at Megaduda prevent me from meeting you all in person. As a token of my appreciation, I have arranged for a feast to be held in your honor. May it nourish you in preparation for the trials ahead. Such are the words of Master Vritra. The feast he speaks of awaits you at Mayride's Mayhem. Pray, make your way there whenever your business here is done. We thank you for your kindness indeed. I was hoping we might find a place to discuss our next course of action, and that seems an ideal venue. And to you, Mirror Apprentice, there's someone we had hoped to introduce you to in particular. While I'm loath to detain you further, might you spare a moment of your time? A personal invitation, knowing full well your services are in the highest demand right now? This must be important. Worry not, we'll save some food for you, so take all the time you need. Picto rotation at 35 is 1111111. Thank you, friend. Whenever you are ready, please join me in the Aetheryte Plaza. I shall go on ahead. I can't teleport to the Aetheryte Plaza, so we're just gonna have to run there. I'm happy we got through Honey Chai last night. And now to prepare for Brute Bomber. That's gonna be a fight. Why are you turning away from me? Alright, fine, fuck you. Access to the Aetheryte you see there has been restricted to a select few ever since the tower first appeared. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience, but it is deemed too dangerous to permit the free movement of visitors at a time of emergency. A risk we could not take. In light of recent developments, however, the Satrap has decided that such restrictions would only hinder our efforts to combat the final days. As such, I would encourage you to attune with the Aetheryte before proceeding along the corridor. Sure. Anyway, as you guys heard when I went on break, I am indeed watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged at last. I am currently in the Android Saga, and laughing my ass off as so far it is fucking hilarious. Had I known about, well, I can't say that, but I wish I could have auditioned to play Majin Buu. Does Buu make you gone? Ah, you must be wondering what this place is. You stand in the hall of the Radiant Host, from where our leadership oversees all of Resident San's military operations. Sundrop, our destination, lies just ahead. Could you imagine going to, like, your office and they gave it some name like Sundrop? Welcome to Sundrop. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to... Oh, so you're the famous Mirror Apprentice, eh? I knew it the moment you stepped through the door. You've the look of one who's walked through hell. Sure, bot, please. You are speaking to the Satrap's honored guest and a savior of our people. Can you not show a modicum of respect? What disrespect is there in paying a fellow warrior a compliment? We're all friends here, or will be soon enough. More formally then, for the benefit of my countrymen. It is a pleasure to have you with us, O great champion of Eorzea, scion of the Seventh Dawn, warrior of light, and all-around good egg, I'm sure. What is this place? This talk of eggs reminds me I'm late for dinner. A woman after my own heart. I like that. Don't you worry, I'll keep it short. There's just a thing or two we'd like you to remember. First of all, about the room you're standing in now. Radzatan welcomes delegates from other lands to oversee trade and diplomatic dealings. Then there are military matters to discuss, which is why all these officers are stationed here in Sundrop. I imagine you're more than familiar with each of the nations they represent, yes? We've got representatives from Doma, Uda and Alamigo, Limsala Minsa, Gridania, and last but never let it be said least, Ishka. They're the eyes, ears, and mouths that bridge the distance between Radzatan and their respective homelands. We've used this brief respite to share the details of our plight with our overseas counterparts. And wouldn't you know it, all of their leaders requested a word from you specifically. You're a woman in high demand, eh? And so, would you mind regaling us with your own account? Indulge us before you indulge yourself? I'm not sure this music is fitting for this, but... Thank you for the report. The conditions under which your men are turned to beast, the etheric anomalies you have observed, you've given us much to consider. It is concerning that the first transformation apparently occurred before the skies turned red. It's contrary to what one would expect. Thankfully, the information you conveyed to Lucia upon your return from the moon has already proved invaluable. As soon as reports of the calamity here in Thavnir reached the Grand Company of Eorzea and our far eastern allies, our leaders knew at once that the final days were indeed upon us. They began taking steps to assess the extent of the phenomenon's spread. Our agents were able to confirm that, for the time being, the skies burn only over the bounty, including this island and Corvus. Alas, that is of little comfort. Aye, all throughout the Allied lands there have been reports of people transforming into hideous beasts. And from what little we have learned, these incidents are similar in nature to what that involved in Merchant Calzo. As was the case here, the victims underwent the change prior to the heavens being set ablaze. And so, while the burning skies have yet to manifest beyond the bounty, the transformations do not appear to be subject to any similar restriction. If anyone, anywhere overcome by despair can turn, then nowhere is safe. That's about the size of it. Speaking of which, we ought to give these creatures a name, don't you think? Here in Radzatan, we've taken to calling the first to change, which tend to be the biggest, blasphemies. Sorry, my ears are super itchy. As fitting as a name as any, to ensure clarity in future communications, we shall urge our comrades to adopt this terminology. Our leaders have taken measures to deal with the threat to the best of our abilities. Aye, each nation has assembled our own groups of elite soldiers to put these so-called blasphemies and their spawn as when they appear. At the same time, they are doing all in their power to put the people's minds at ease and prevent panic and fear from spreading. That said, brave souls with the strength and fortitude to fell these terrible fiends are not easily found. Just so, and it is for that very reason we turn to you. Pray, lend us your strength and help us slay the blasphemies that plague our homeland. Now, you don't have to give your reply before dinner. I should also mention that each blasphemy seems to possess wildly different characteristics, that what works well against one may serve you poorly against another. So before you rushing off to save everyone's day, have a word with the delegates. They'll tell you what to expect. Okay. And with that, I do believe our friend here has a feast to attend. Spare a thought for us while you're tucking into all that fine cuisine, eh? You now have access to roll quests for Endwalker. Okay, so we're gonna skip past this for now. We'll be doing this on Thursdays and Sundays, with the exception of this Thursday. Pray, forgive Shir about her rudeness. She can be a bit boisterous at times, but it is simply her nature. Anyway, my apologies for keeping you from your hard-earned rest. You will be rejoining your companions, yes? Do you know the way to Mehin? I know Razadhan like the back of my hand. I'm glad to hear you're becoming familiar with our fair city. You'll be pleased to hear that all drinks are on the house, so order whatever suits your fancy. And with that, I must return to my post. On behalf of all the Radiant hosts, I thank you and your friends once more for lending your strength and courage to Razadhan in our time of need. We shall endeavor to fight the good fight to the end, and we might honor Ahawan's legacy and serve Master Vritra well. You have my word that your efforts will not be in vain. The man that has to lead to his post, he has a lot to say. Anyway, so we're going to be dealing with the Ishgardian delegate as a ranged caster. What's an Ishgard? Bubble. Get them all sitting over there. Welcome! When the Satrap asked us to entertain a party of honored guests, I was wondering who it might be. This is a lovely surprise, to say the least. By the way, I heard all about Kalzal from your friend Grahatia. I understand there was nothing that could be done, but I was heartened to hear he meant us no harm. I cannot thank you enough for dispatching the beasts. As the smallest token of my thanks, our food and drink tonight are our Mehed's treat. Speaking of which, what shall I start you off with? A piping hot mug of honey chai. A glass of your finest local spirits. Water. Just water. Let's get some honey chai. As you wish. Pray join your friends and I will bring you your drink. Welcome back. Whatever did the Radiant want with you? Pray tell? Our allies have sent military delegates. That's news to me. Mind sharing the details?
So blasphemies now plague all the realm.
It will only get worse if what Father said is true, as it did in Amarot.
If that's our model, then shouldn't we expect the effects to grow more severe as it feeds off its own spread? As if people transforming into those monstrosities wasn't bad enough. If the flora and fauna, if the land itself turned against us.
No one would survive.
Here's your order, friend. May you find comfort in these dark times.
Where do we go from here? If there's one thing we've learned, fighting blindly and simply reacting to what comes will accomplish nothing. We must find a solution that addresses the fundamental cause. Before our strength is exhausted, before this crisis spirals out of control. Is there something, anything we've overlooked?
If there is an answer, Hydaelyn herself will have it. 'Twas she who bound Zodiac and forestalled the final days. Alas, we have heard naught from her since the Tower of Babel. Whether she cannot or will not speak, I can only speculate. Even the flower she gave us is no more.
In our time, we called it Elpis. You would do well to remember that name.
So advised the Watcher. But What could be the significance of that name? It is entirely unfamiliar to me.
To me as well. It meant something to the ancients, though. In our time.
Most surely. Yet I do not recall a single mention of it in the records of Anida.
Another dead end. And quite literally. It's not as if there are any ancients living we could go and ask.
Not alive as such, but not quite dead. Elidibus. I sealed him in the White Horusite of the Crystal Tower back on the first. Contained within that reservoir of ether that maintains it, ether that is returned little by little to the sea, naught may remain of his soul. However, if part of it lingers, we might be able to speak with him there. I know we can no longer make that journey, but you, my friend, still can.
Worth a try. It would be an opportunity to look in on the others as well, but there surely is no other way.
Thank you, my friend. That would mean much to me.
If nothing else, should we learn the First is safe, we'll have that much more reason to keep fighting the good fight. That said, the odds are not in our favor, to say the least. Which is why we're fortunate to have Urianger up there on the moon, working hard to make all the necessary preparations for our departure, should it come to it.
And why we have nothing to lose by staying the course till the last instant.
Indeed. To the last, let us all do what we can. I will consult with Master Matoya and see if she knows of a way to reach Hydaelyn from the Ethereal Sea.
And I will visit the nation's leaders and attempt to ascertain how far the final days have progressed elsewhere.
Keep me abreast of your findings. I can seek out and slay the worst of the immediate threats, if only to slow the spread.
Unease, terror, despair. Try as we might to suppress them, these emotions will return to harry us time and time again. But when they do, remember this. Your friends and loved ones are out there somewhere, sharing in your struggle. You are not alone.
So ends the brief respite before the next revelation. Yes, so much left for you to see. Where beginning ends, and end begins.
I think Matoya would be a little less surprised about it simply because they have met God before, Sharlayan did. It's what led them to act the way they have for the past 270 years. Now then, is there anything we've forgotten to mention? Are your arms and armor in good order? In that case, it's time we attended to our tasks. And when you arrive on the first, give my regards to Reen. Tell her I miss her. All higher. Alright, we have another achievement. Reacher's Valiant. This is the title I do not remember at all, but here we go. Done. Oh, we get a weapon for this. Sick. Take this, Miro, my spirit vessel. Empty now, of course, but it should allow you to operate the tower's systems in the Umbilicus. If even the smallest fragment of Elidibus' essence remains, it should be possible to locate it. As for access to the Umbilicus, pray seek out Lena for assistance. Chances are she still stands watch at the Ascensor's gate. Should she or anyone ask after me, tell them, I am living my life to the fullest, that I am happy, hardships and all. Well, we had best be on our respective ways. God willing, we will see each other again ere long. Alright, so, if you guys recall, the Crystarium was from Shadowbringers, and it is where we are headed. Bum, 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 bum. And she is out in Lakeland. Can I just use this to teleport out there? I don't actually remember. But yeah, so the Sharlayan Forum actually did find they did find Heidelin 270 years ago. Miraho, you are returned. Have you been well, you and the others? As well as can be. We've no shortage of troubles, but we're well enough. Then things are much the same for you as they are here. My lord is doubtless enjoying himself. He said this to you? These exact words? Oh, to know he is happy. It fills my heart with joy. Thank you, Miro, for taking care of him. Then, when next you see him, please tell him not to overexert himself, futile a request though it is. And tell him that all is well here, and peace you gifted us continues, and we work to build new lives for ourselves. In the course of this, we occasionally bicker, but we've never been more optimistic for the morrow. If I had to mention the one dilemma, it would be the question of our governance. Even as we speak, debate rages on how we should run the city in the Exarch's absence. Most are of a mind that the Settlement Council should continue to oversee the general running of the Crystarium, while representatives are elected to determine policy and handle diplomacy. Thus far, nothing is set in stone, but however we choose to proceed, we will not replace our lord. No one could. Have we recently observed any unusual phenomena? No, I cannot say there have been. Curious that you should ask me this question, though. Some days ago, Reen came and asked the very same. She was rather unsettled, in stark contrast to how cheerful she has been of late. Reen has been dedicating herself to the restoration of the empty, you see. Though it will take many long years, the goal seems to have given her a newfound sense of purpose and fulfillment. So when I saw her in the state of such worry, I couldn't help but feel worried in turn, especially since she wouldn't tell me what troubled her. I dare say she would be more willing to confide in you. May I ask you to broach the subject with her? You wish to enter the umbilicus? Very well, I shall fetch the key at once and take the opportunity to find Reen. Please wait for me in the city, in front of the Cabinet of Curiosities, shall we say. I will be along as soon as I can. See, I'm gone for like months, and they still send me back to the Cabinet of Curiosity. Those fucks. Anyway, if you guys don't know, the Empty is the areas of Norvrent, the first, that were destroyed by the Flood of Light. They're basically stripped of all life, and Reen has been seeking to return life back to those areas. Through one of the raid quest lines, you actually return the elemental energies to the Empty, so that's cool. The following event cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel any pending... Okay, hang on. We're going to take our break now then, guys, and then we will do that, this cutscene after. Don't go anywhere.